Hey everybody, and welcome to the 8th episode of the Yak Tribe Kayak Show. I'm your host Heath, and today I'm with you with the owner of Crescent Kayaks, James. And so James, thankful to have you on the show with us today. We were on a family vacation, and I saw that it was only fit. You hit me up. So James hit me up before I even dropped the first episode of YTKS. Yeah, and so I was like, hey, I dropped a teaser image on Instagram stories, and you had hit me up immediately, and you're like, yo, bro, like, awesome what you're doing, like, I'm down to support. Yeah. And it wasn't even like, I'm down to, like, come interview me. You were just like, hey, man, I want to support what you're doing. And so I just wanted to say, I appreciate you for literally before even day one supporting what we were doing at YTKS, bro.
Well, I think it's like a lot about what we kind of touched on. Like, we are trying to really do a community-based thing. We want to be authentic. We want to be real, and I think the best content comes from the community and the people actually with our products or that do the sport. So that was a big thing. We just saw you doing your thing, and it's cool, and just wanted to reach out and support it, really.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. And so you guys who are watching right now, this is our 8th episode, and I wanted to mention that we are going to be doing a giveaway. And so I'm being a little selfish, but I'm going to throw this at you guys. I'm not going to talk about the giveaway right now, and it's not going to be at the end of the video where everyone can just go to the end and then they can skip all the gold that's in the middle and in this video. And so somewhere in the middle, like the 75, maybe 50% mark, somewhere in our video, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to tell you guys how you can win a Crescent kayak. And so James, I want to thank you so much for offering that up and to our community, and we'll talk about that in the middle. There's a few things that I'm gonna need from you guys to get entered to win. It's not just how we normally do it, which is throw a like, subscribe, do some engagement. There's a little bit more to this giveaway, and so I wanna tell you guys about that up front. And then also to you, James, I want to let you know that I have never done an in-person podcast, vlogcast like this before, and so really, you're the guinea pig. And so nice. If there's any hiccups, guys, if there's any hiccups in this episode, it's because I don't know what I'm doing, and it's not James.
Yeah, you're in my studio.
Yeah, I guess I'm in and check out this set, man. James was up early this morning building this set, and so we were going to use a table, but we decided to just use a SUP instead, which I think better suits this podcast. And so for those who are just joining us and who are getting into the YTKS show, I want to talk real quick about what it's about, and we'll move straight to the questions with James here. But the reason why this podcast or vlogcast, wherever you're listening or watching to this, the reason why we exist is to take a look at the people within Yak Tribe, the people behind products, the people behind companies, manufacturing, behind the business, and kind of take a look at their life and not so much focus on the product that we see and know already. And so that's why we do this podcast. And so James, again, thanks for being here with us.
Yep.
And once to remind you, we got to talk straight into that mic so we can hear you nice and clear. I know it's a little bit awkward on this SUP board, but we'll get it done. But James, all right, here's the first question. The first question on our podcast is always super loaded. And it's one of those questions where it's really 100 questions, and you just got to kind of tackle it however you can. And so here's the question. Who is James, and why do you do what you do? You could be doing any other thing, but you chose to own a kayak brand.
Well, first off, I'm not someone that would use my name in third person, so, so definitely don't ever want to come across like that. I mean, you can say loaded or whatever. I mean, so hopefully it's not too loaded of an answer. But I mean, some of the best things in my life were given to me. It's wasn't always my plan to do this, and it's just a really awesome blessing to get to do so many different things that I love as my work. When I look backwards on it, it was always going to go. It's a very clean path, but
right.
When I was out at I played soccer at Coastal, I'm out there, I'm unhappy, I'm away from my family, not enjoying life. Like it wasn't always that clear. So I just think of it as a huge blessing, and it's nature's always been a huge passion of mine. Being healthy and active has always been a big passion of mine. So, and also, I mean, how I got into it, a lot of different answers, but I mean, I was kind of grew up around rotomolding. So my dad moved down from Canada when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So we got transplanted down here, and he used to do like the fast food restaurants, the playgrounds at that.
Yeah.
So I grew up around rotomolding. So I think, you know, seeing my dad do a business growing up and creating stuff, I think I've always kind of enjoyed that, the process of creating. And then so growing up around kind of a entrepreneurial background, rotomolding, my love for nature, activity, you know, it all kind of, that's why I almost think it's a blessing, man. It's like almost too good, like all these things coming together to get to be like an expression of myself. Like even, I don't know what else I would do, man. You know, if I could, if I could sell my company right now today, I'd, for X amount of money, I wouldn't know what else I would do, you know, because it's such like an extension of myself. Even getting to pick colorways and accents, you know, and choose the direction of a brand. I mean, it's just so fulfilling for me. So, you know, it's been a crazy ride way to you know, ultimately get here. But different things guiding my life kind of always, you know, make it make sense at the same time.
So like really you're a product of what your dad was and what he was kind of doing. You saw him growing up, you saw him rotomolding and building these things, and so you're kind of in a sense doing the same thing. You're building and you are, and so what's cool is right upstairs here, you know, my kids are playing around up there, and like that's my hope as a dad too, is that my kids, Rylan and Landon and Owen, they'll see, like, we're on vacation right now, but hopefully I'm hoping that they see a pause in that, and to see that like this is how dad works, you know. And so my hope as a dad is that obviously whatever they want to do in their life, they should do that. But for them to be able to see maybe an entrepreneurial spirit, non-traditional, to see that you can kind of build something and do something that's a little bit different. That's what I'm hoping for my kids to see, and it seems like you're like living that out right now.
Trying, man. I mean, that's like, okay, I mean, it's pretty early to get into it, but like that sticker on the back of your computer, it's so dope to me, because
this one, work don't worry.
Dude, I saw that, and like, man, that just resonates so much with me, because it's like, all I believe in life is, and that's how I think I'm here. I just freaking put your head down, work hard, go after what you believe in, and trust that, like, you know, the universe or whatever you want to call it, it has good for you, you know. And that's why I love, you know, that message. So like, and I see it in you, and that's why I relate and stuff. It's like just hard work and go after what you want, man. You know?
That's
and
the thing, man.
It's an awesome example to, you know, whoever, your kids or other friends or whatever. It's cool, you know, to do. When
the stress comes, like, you can sit around and stress, and you can figure out like your to-do list is like this long. But for me, it's like, man, if you put in the work, you're going to worry less down the road. I mean, you're still going to have worry, but the reason why I made this decal is because I'm sitting here looking at my to-do list and then being paralyzed by it and not doing anything. And so I feel like the best way to get through that stress and through that workload, especially like being you and I, we make our, it's like, it's eat what you kill mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we have to do it or it doesn't get done. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you know what? That's why I made that decal, work don't worry. You got to get after it. And it takes a lot of energy, whether it's emotional or whatever, to be that engine. You know what I mean? That's what I talk about a lot. Like, to be that driving force of, you know, the project, man. It's like crazy, man, the highs and lows of a day. You know what I mean? Like, we kick ass. Are we gonna make it, you know? Man. Oh, I know what you mean. But hey, that's a thing we live for. I feel like you couldn't do anything else. No, I joke sometimes, like, I'm like, man, I could be an awesome employee, you know, because I'm like, I know what it takes to do a business. So in some ways, I'm like, man, I'd be the best employee, and then other days, I'm like, I probably wouldn't make it through a week, you know. Man, and so you can run down from your office and cut some wood and play with some kayaks and mess up some stuff and glue some mats down. You can be creative, and you can do and really drive the direction of your brand and your company. And so, man, that's awesome. So, hey, what did you do before you were manufacturing kayaks? So how I was raised is you either are like playing a sport or you got a job. So I grew up playing, you know,
soccer regionally and then played in university. So that's kind of what I did, was more sports based. Excuse me. And then the only job I've ever had, I've had one job ever, and I was a summer soccer camp counselor.
Which is,
I just
like, what do you actually do?
I supervised kids and coached them. Ralph Lundy Soccer Academy.
Yeah,
man.
there you
That's
go.
shout out.
Nice plug.
Yeah. So I was a counselor there. That's the only job. And then by year 2, I got fired on the first day.
Yeah, they're like, this guy, we cannot harness his, what is
3 hours, I think 2 hours in, I got fired in the second year. So that's the only job I've ever worked. So like,
you got fired, you're like, that's it, I'm never working for anyone again.
yeah, I started this when I was 20. So this is all I was in university, and university's awesome, man. I'm not putting it down. It's just I was doing resort tourism management, and it was basically, I thought my goal was like, man, I want to travel the world, explore that and work at cool places. That's my idea of it. And then it was like, so perception, reality.
Yeah,
it was like, the reality is, yes or no, sir, jump how high, and you're working holidays, and you're making like not a lot of money.
Sure.
And I just wasn't really inspired by that, and I just, in my own personal life, I wasn't super happy. So it kind of started out the redirect that ultimately would become this. I mean, people thought I was crazy, man. I was dragging a kayak across campus,
Yeah.
People,
And this was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, I'm dragging a coastal campus. I'm dragging a kayak across campus because, it was like this double. I couldn't even carry it myself. I'm dragging it across campus telling people I'm going to sell the hell out of these things. And everyone's like, this dude snapped.
Yeah.
So, and it just, like I said, I mean, it was crazy, but it kind of has become this, though.
Yeah. And guys, if you hear some noise in the background, we are in a working shop right now. Like, it's going down. Like, there's work going down around us, and so this isn't just a display place. This is a working place. And so where does the name Crescent come from? So when you started this brand in 2000, let me think, 2009 maybe, 2008.
Yeah. Well, so it depends how far back you want.
Okay.
You want me to go all the way back and
yeah.
tell? Okay, so Crescent originally, the 2 models. So my pop's owned a rotor molding facility, and he liked outdoors. We grew up in the outdoors and everything like that. So he wanted to do kayaks. So he hired Bob McDonough, who now is like president of design for Ocean Kayaks. So he's like badass. He did a lot of work for Confluence and stuff too. So really great designer. He came in and designed the first 2 models for the company. And I was sharing with you earlier, like when I was in 7th grade, I went to Take Your Child to Work Day, and I built these kayaks on Take Your Child to Work Day in the factory. So it kind of was already formed in that sense. I was in university, like I said, I wasn't really happy. I literally was just trying to make some money for the summer. And I remember that these kayak molds existed. I mean, they literally had probably sold 2 in 5 years or more. Like, it was just a dead mold on a shelf. And it's not like I was some visionary, I mean, I was just literally like, man, I want to make some money for the summer. I put 10 on it, built 10. So I molded 10, built them out myself, put them on a trailer, and went out to South Carolina without going too far into it all. I mean, I didn't sell any of them. Ran out of money. I had to like sell some on the side of the road just to make it back home. But put them online, and it started getting some traction and everything. So the short of the answer is, like, I was riding in a taxi at Paddle Sport Retailer like last week, and the Uber driver's like, well, what do you do? I told her, my company, and she's like, how, what's the name? How'd you come up with it? And I'm like, oh, I wish it was like a sexier answer than that, but really, Crescent already existed, and I knew so little when I started first selling them. I just took the name and literally, like I was sharing with you, I built the brand over the next 2 years, and then ended up having to buy all the value that I created.
You had to buy what you built.
Yeah, I bought what I built. So, what I really connect to is more the rebranding of the logo. I think is really cool. I mean, it has the crescent moon. So, like, when you're out camping, you look up, you see that moon. It has the sun, which sunsets have always been really cool with me. The horizon line, which, I don't know if seeing a sunset in the horizon, or I love being on a boat and, you have that horizon and the sun. Also, it has the mountains. So you got sun, mountains, horizon line. and then the bottom's supposed to be like a body of water.
Yeah,
so
I see that now. That's pretty cool.
yeah, so
that's dope.
that I connect to. You know, that's kind of like
Right.
all the elements of like what we're here for and what we enjoy. So that we rebranded everything, you know, 3 years ago, and even I did some shoddy logos back in the day. But so yeah, we took the original name, which was kind of just like a lifestyle, camp out, be out in nature. That's kind of where the Crescent thing came from, and then you know, developed the whole thing. And then, like I said, me and Jake Myers, I Will Design for Food. He's an awesome friend of mine, awesome designer. We redid everything, and that's what I'm so stoked on. Is that like I used to like build like I'd build like one-off stuff that was cool, and we couldn't share it with anybody. So I mean, I think a lot of like this whole thing's about sharing with other people,
Right.
and so I'd make really cool stuff like a one-off car or whatever, and you couldn't share it with anyone. And so that's what I'm so stoked is like the branding we got, where I think it really represents my styling and what I like in style, like funky, futuristic, retro type deal. And I think that what's cool is we did it in the branding, and now it's translated to the product line. Like I think
Right.
our products look like the brand should feel. So I'm really excited about. It's more just that, you know, like I want to be proud of what I do. I want to be proud of what this represents, and I'm excited that the product line now look and feel like with something that's within me that I wanted to share.
Right. Right. Yeah, man, it's good that you stay true to that and follow. Don't let those little things slip by. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's cool being the only owner that your vision and what it is you're seeing, you can really see through to the end.
You gotta be careful, man, or I have to be, because it's like, you know, we're starting to do like we're becoming an attractive business, so people want to work with us. Excuse me, which is cool. Like people want to manufacture our boats and everything. But the one thing I have to be really careful of is, you know, like we do like a rope handle from a climbing company that's local. And, you know, it's quick to go, well, do we really need to do, and, you know, you compromise.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden what made you unique or what made you excited about it, you know, starts to go away. So
Right.
that's something we've, just as we've grown, got to really, it's like that handle cord costs 3 times as much, but it's cool to support a local climbing
Right.
company.
Right.
And I hope that's what comes through is ultimately like the passion and the care, you know, and the excitement for the products. You know, that's
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
what I hope comes through.
So I want to speak on process for a little bit. And so I want this to be a little bit of an educational show too.
Ooh.
And so not that, and I understand there, I've got some questions on here that some people might find business owners fairly intimidating, you know, so it's like this, right? It's like if somebody hits me up, I just had somebody hit me up yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey man, who do you use to make your shirts, right?
Yeah.
This is not special, right? Like I have a guy that I've been using for 5 years.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like,
Yeah.
you go ahead and find it out yourself. No, I'll like point you in the
No,
right
I know what
direction.
you mean.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
you get hired, do they get your Rolodex with you?
right, exactly. And so some of these questions can be a bit intimidating, but I hope that we can at least shine some light because you never know. So it's like the advice you give, the advice that entrepreneurs are giving on the show. You never know where somebody's going to take that. My hope is no one's going to go and no one can copy what you do.
Yeah.
Nobody can be you, but they can take some of your information and advice and apply that to another area of their life, right?
Yeah.
And so here's one of those questions, and you can talk, you know, how in depth you want to about this.
Yeah.
But it's this. So you have an idea, right, of like, so this SUP or one of these kayaks back here. What is like a very stripped down way of talking about how you go from having the idea to actually getting your idea to a mold,
Mhm.
and then like making this, now it's here in
Yeah.
person. So what does that creative process look like for you?
So, I mean, I think first off, like touching on what you're talking about, it's kind of like, how do we want our customers to interact with us and be a very transparent company and share everything and be very, I think people want to know the stories. They want to, you know,
Right.
see how we do things, and we want to be transparent about this SUP was designed by Steve Brom. He's a badass designer. This didn't come from China. It has a heart. It has a vision and an idea. So it's kind of like, for me, someone can buy this thing, they could scan it ultimately, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever. It's kind of that thing where I I'm going to show it to you can't control who sees it or who knows, you know, and I want to have a transparent and open company. And it just doesn't work that way. You can't be open and transparent to everyone and exclude your competitors. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm just really focused on. I think the big thing for me is if we just do what we feel. You know what I mean? We're not because if we're copying, we're always going to be behind. And if we're doing, you know, what we're into and trying to be original and what we think, then we're not really following. You know, I'm not necessarily saying we're quote unquote leading, but we're on our own plane and path. And I think that maybe doesn't keep you, I don't know, ahead, but it's original at least, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, which is awesome. Can you shed some light on like what is your process look like? Like, do you have a sketchbook and you like sketch this out in your mind? And then do you just send it to like a company and they're like, boom, here's your kayak now, it's done.
So, touching on some things, and again, I think, you know, everyone has different business models. So, Crescent, or our idea is, or at least this is how I would see us as, I want to take I want to make our best attempt at each genre. So, and I don't want to put ourselves in a little box where we're only rec or we're only fishing kayaks because, you know, I think just there's a lot bigger market than that. So our business model is find the most relevant markets and make a product for it. So, and we partner with really good people to do that. So again, the SUP, we thought, okay, SUP's cool, but there's some holes in a paddle board, you know, in the sense where it's great downwind, but if you get caught standing up, it's just not that enjoyable. Okay, let's do a frame. We got a frame seat, and we kind of make everything transferable. That's another thing I think is cool with the brand. So, okay, well, how do we solve some of the problems with the SUP? Okay, well, a frame seat would be great, you know, so you can sit down if you get caught in a wind or more comfort. Okay, we think, and then we started spending time on SUPs, and it's like, man, it's actually a really great platform to fish off of. So then how do we make it a better platform to fish off of? Integrate, you know, Yak Attack. We're all about American-made companies, so Yak Attack integration in all our product lines you'll see. And I think what I'm learning in myself is being comfortable in is like, and not being insecure. It's like I'm not everything. You know what I mean? Like I can't be, you know, the leader and do design and know every single thing about fishing. You know what I mean? Like I feel pretty good at the business. I feel good on design and the direction of the company, and you know I like fishing and stuff, but I'm not like hardcore as some other guys. So we bring in hardcore guys to get their opinion. How do you want this space? What do you think about this? We like an open concept. Do you think the community would respond to that? So, you know, I think that's an important thing is being okay with not being everything, and where we partner with really good guys to help develop the ideas that we have also. So whether it's you know, a designer for this or direction on you know, what would they like to see on our fishing models. So that's the idea, is to make the solo skiff. So I don't know if people know we do solo skiff. The story behind that is Tom Mitzloff. He did inshore power boats and he did mid-sea skiffs. So again, we're not just seeing someone else who made a skiff and wanting to copy it and just random, you know, trying to scan it or something. You know, we saw the direction of power boats. We saw a great product that Tom was making out of fiberglass. I'm not a skiff designer, but I know how to do rotomolding. So we partnered with Tom and made a kick-ass, you know, little 14-foot solo skiff. So, you know, it's for me, you know, we could get more into the specifics of how you do it, you know what I mean, as far as like programs and stuff like that. A lot of what I like, especially on like the light tackles and ultralights and our Splash 2 and Splashback, the original hull design, we really like that because we're a paddling based company first, and I think that's what people are really responding to us in the market, is that our idea is keep it clean, integrate all the features, and make a good paddling boat. So in saying that, we're sticking. It's kind of like not to compare us to this level, but like Porsche 911. They haven't changed it much because it's a really well designed product. So with our keel systems and our holes, we feel like they're great performing holes. We like what we're getting out of them. So we're doing adaptations off of those. Similar, like other companies have done that. You can see kind of like a company gets like a design profile for their holes, and you'll see different versions of it. So I'm really happy with kind of our aesthetic and our performance with our kind of original hulls. So we're doing a lot of adaptations off of those to then fit into the different boats that are wanted in the market.
Right. And so listening to that answer, it kind of seems like what you're doing is you're focusing on your strengths really. And so, which is leading the company, designing. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to actually implementing even some other things, you're not above getting other intelligent people involved in your production process.
No, I mean, it's all about learning and growing. You know what I mean? We are a lot better company than we were last year, and mm-hmm. I hope that, this time next year, we're a lot better company than we are now,
Right.
I'm open, man, to learn and listen, and not to copy, but to get other people who are, good authorities in the industry, involved for sure.
Right. And so I wanted to switch gears for a second because I don't know much about this, but I heard that your shop burned down.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about that. Excuse me for a second. I want to talk about that and hear the story about your shop burned down. How did that actually happen? You wake up one day and the shop's gone.
Yeah, so I was just leaving a meeting. It was like at night, and my father-in-law, either had called me or told me, like, hey, there's a fire at the shop. So there's a difference too. So we're in my shop now, so I would get raw hulls brought in here, and we'd do all the assembly and then distribute out of here. Mm-hmm. So when people thought my shop burned down, like I'd burn this thing down 10 times before, because the molds aren't in here. So I'm sure people know what a mold is what you use to actually make the product. It's basically the master, if you will, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's the queen bee, and that's a lot of money, and it's your whole ability to make your inventory. If your inventory burns down, no big deal, you just make more,
right?
But if you lose your ability to build inventory, you're in trouble. So I pull up, man, I'm coming down 27, and there's a huge billow of smoke, and I was like, oh, this is for real. I pull in, I'm so early, there isn't even firefighters on the scene yet. And it starts raining, and I'm like, oh man, act of God, it's all good. And then this is like a 200-yard building. Flame kicks out the back, and I'm like, it's over. And I was there so early, I got trapped on the inside of the fire hose, so I have to go around the back of the shop, and the propane explodes and stuff, and I'm just literally seeing like. And that's the cool thing, man. I thought it was over, or everything was ending, and it was that whole cliche thing. It was beginning. So more or less this time last year, we have 6 molds. 4 out of the 6 molds were destroyed. Mm. And I'm making one kayak up in Atlanta with a guy who has never made a kayak before in his life. We're talking about making kayaks with him. Okay, fast forward a year later, we're molding with the best kayak manufacturers in the industry. Every model's back online and better than it's ever been, and we have even grown new products. So I mean, that's you always feel like, man, is this going anywhere? Are we going forward? I mean, I can't give a bigger testimony than that. I mean, we're completely back. We're working with the best guys in the industry, and we've improved upon what we lost on top of it. And we have, a year ago, I wouldn't be doing an interview with you guys, because we didn't deserve it yet, But we put in the hard work, man. We rebranded and we made the new product line, and I think we have something that people are really connecting to. And so that's what's so awesome, man. Getting opportunity. You think it's over, but really it was the beginning of really, I learned who I was as a man, for real.
Yeah.
And,
much more than kayaks at that point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. And so this is a testament to you, because when I ran across your brand, so before you had messaged me, I was already following Crescent, and I'd already ran across what you were doing. My buddy Kevin Fox has
Right on. Yeah.
in Southern Moon has your kayaks, and so I've spent a few times at his shop. I spent a month in Augusta, Georgia, just hanging at his shop. And
Yeah.
When he tore it down and rebuilt,
Uh-huh.
and so I saw, he was talking about Crescent, so I already knew about it, but I had no idea that your shop and the molds in your shop were destroyed.
Yeah.
And so it's really a testament to you and to your willpower and to work, don't worry, even though there's a lot of worry going on there, but to actually put in the work that I had no idea.
Yeah.
When I re-looked at your Instagram and re-looked at the products and came back by, I was like, I mean, it seems like you never skipped a beat.
Yeah. Well,
So.
the industry, man. The industry really had my back.
Mhm.
Like, guys were doing, and that's what's so cool, man. You put all this time into stuff, and you wonder if relationships matter, or what's the point of being kind to this person and that.
Right.
I can't say enough about stuff that should have taken a month. Guys were doing in 3 days for me.
Wow.
I mean, it was insane. And then I'll always give shout out to Luther at Bonafide.
Yeah.
We probably got them to do more than they ever wanted to, but dude, he hit me up. He was at ICAST. He's like, I heard what happened. Can we help?
Yeah.
And, without the dudes at Bonafide, I told him this last week, we would not have been in this position.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I would have quit. I wouldn't have laid down. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they had my back, man.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of other people in the industry.
And that's what I love about the kayak fishing industry is that, like, man, Bonafide's a competitor.
Yeah, in a way.
I mean, in a way, but,
Yeah.
like, they're another kayak.
For sure.
And so there are a lot of people that you would say are competitors in our industry. But what I love about our industry is, like, man, there's guys out there that have kayak brands, that have kayak communities. They're the head. They're the leader. They're doing their thing. Those are some of my best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like there's something special about what we have going on, and for the industry to, like you said, have your back. It's a testament to those relationships, to you, and to everything going on that I had no idea your shop burned down. And it seemed like when I took a look back at Crescent,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, that's the thing, man. We didn't make excuses, but it's like ask my wife if I was gone a lot. You know what I mean? Like, we put in a lot of work this year, and I'm really proud of where we were able to get it. And it wasn't me. It was so much bigger than me, and it's like very humbling, really.
Yeah, man. All right, so here's a question regarding that. We'll fly past this question, but because I got another one. But it's from at Kayak Fly Fishing School. He said, since the devastating fire last year caused you to relocate your molds and assembly of most of your kayaks to other locations in the region, do you have the future plans on getting the Crescent Kayaks molding and assembly completely back to Carrollton, Georgia in the future? And if so, do you have a timeline for that?
It's kind of a good question.
Or is it working out just how it is?
What's up, Donald?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a mind expanded, can't get smaller type deal. So, we're always evolving, we're always growing. That's the idea. So it's like if you level up, you don't want to level back down. So like the original Crescent we did at a playground manufacturer, really good molders, but not kayak specific. I mean, we did a lot of what everyone else is doing, pressure test, thickness gauge, all that. I mean, it's not like, we were being negligent in any way, but to go to a factory that is 100% dedicated for kayak manufacturing, you get better. It's just that simple. We're using better resins than we ever had. We're using better techniques in molding, and we're around more experienced people. So, and we're going to continue to pursue that. We're not stopping here. We're always looking for the next, next way to make this company better, whether it's technology, molding process, customer service, and so, quite frankly, Carrollton couldn't even handle our production now. They could probably do a third of what we're going to need, and that's stuff we've grown since then. I will say one thing that we are going to do that I think is very important to me. We will bring every boat to Carrollton. So every boat will come to our Carrollton facility. we want to put our own hands on every single boat. We want to be able to dictate when we ship, how we ship, and because dude, I'm a go-getter, you know, and so it's no knock or anything like that. But when we want to ship something, I don't want to have to ask anybody. You know, I want to ship.
Right. No, I feel you. And like I'm the same way. So like I have it on a way lower level than you, but you know, like I do hats, shirts, decals, baits, you know, things like that, right? And so you listen to some of the best advice out there from guys killing it, and it's like, man, put that thing on autopilot, sit back, let somebody who does fulfillment do what they do best. Yeah. And I'm always like, man, like, okay, this is a hat, it sells, it gets shipped, whatever, right? But like, I think what kind of sets, oh man, I'm trying not to say this in a way that I'm getting the glory for this, but all I'm trying to say is that I want to be in control of my inventory, even though some of my best friends have said, let me fulfill that for you, and you focus on what you love doing. And I'm about that. I'm about focusing on what's the best thing I can do. But here's the thing. When I send out a package, and it's a blessing when I see that order come through, it's a sticker,
man.
I'm like...
As a small business, man, they don't realize what it is.
Right, yeah, and so I see that, and I'm like, this is John. And like, John bought from me in 2015. John bought from me in 2017. He bought my VIP bag. He got this hat. And now he's ordering a sticker that he already has. Right? And so I see that come through, and I'm like, man, all right, kids, Rylan, you're going to come pack this package. You know, so I'm trying to teach them how to do it. So
that's awesome.
Come pack this package. Hey, look, what else do I have in inventory that I can give this guy? I've got, you know, I work with all kinds of companies like Shoo Lures, Boca Chica Baits, like these companies. And man, I'll take their stuff and I'll put it in boxes. And so people will open up Yak Tribe boxes and see free stuff in there all the time. And so not that you can throw an extra kayak in an order for free, but the thing is that like I still want to have the human touch.
Relationship based instead of number based.
And I want to see that. I want to say, man, John, like I'm still not above writing letters and like giving a call and be like, John, hey bro, I just want to say thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I can't do that type of thing when I've got my buddy in Texas fulfilling my one hat for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or a guy that's ordered for, I mean, and there's different, but same concept,
Same concept,
Like, this guy deserves to get his order out tomorrow because he's an awesome guy.
Exactly.
And this or that.
Right.
And I just want to control the quality, too.
Sure.
We want to, you know, I've seen other companies where they don't bring it in-house, and I just think it's going to be a positive to, you know, just another set of eyes and make sure that, you know, the quality, and again, like the customer service that you're talking about, too.
Right. And so I want to move on to this next question. I don't know why I keep getting these random 1-800 calls. I guess it's...
No phone for me, man.
Man, seriously. So I notice your family in a lot of your posts, especially around the Crescent brand. So I see pictures. I can notice you. Like, you're a very noticeable guy. And so, I mean, you got, like, the tats and the, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I'm like, oh, that's
people
my
think
boy.
They know me. I'll be in cities and people think they know me. Like, they think I'm some, like, chef at a different, you know, I'm like a doppelganger for every, dude in their city.
And so, I noticed that your family is involved in the brand. And so my question is, how much of a role does your family really play in what you're doing as an entrepreneur, as a kayak manufacturer and brand owner?
What probably the most, you know, there's different lows and different victories for the year, but probably the most meaningful thing for me this entire year was when, so again, that fire happened July 5th of last year. I flew up to Canada. My whole company was...
That's where your family's from, right?
Yeah, and I'm from there too.
Okay, that's where you're from.
Yeah. American dream.
Yeah.
So we go up to Canada. We had the trip booked, so we still went. I submitted the report, and there's nothing else I could do.
Just waiting game.
So I'm just sitting up there. I'm trying to redesign stuff while in Canada, no signal. We're like 40 minutes from the nearest town. It was just so stressful. I even... I had my ring to propose to my wife.
My
so I had the ring, dude. The whole company burned down. I was just like...
You're sitting here like, I have no company, but I have my love.
I told her, I was like, look, you're going to see me fight for what I care about. And I'll fight, you know, that was my pitch. It was. I was like...
Hey, so in 10 years from now, I'll be like, she was here through thick and thin, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Dude, I gave her... But I'm proud of the relationship we have, because I gave her it's literally the ring I gave her is called the tiniest engagement ring, because... I was so back in the day superficial, and now I'm all about like relationships and stuff. So I literally, and that's like such a testament to me and her, is like I gave her like $100, $200 engagement ring.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
being secure in that meant more to me than a big ring. You know.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, the question was how much of a role does your family actually play in what you do?
So all that being said, that was what I was going through a year ago. Now the highlight of my year was, and we could show a photo or whatever, but a year later, I'm paddling in like the swamp with my wife and my daughter in the new boats that one didn't even exist, and then the other was
this boat. Was it
this boat?
This boat right here, right?
Yeah, literally. I think this boat.
Just because I recognize the picture that you're talking about, it seems like it was this
one,
color.
and she was on, I was on this sub.
Okay.
Yeah. And like that was just, man, I can't tell you how good that felt. And I went so, like, and it's not about me, but I put everything I had in it, and it was the first time, and my staff did awesome, man. We had our biggest time. We did our best, when I was gone. But it was the first time, dude, I just like exhaled. In a year.
Yeah.
And just to like be on the water with them, the first time I guess it's like, I don't know how involved they are, but they just make it all mean more.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Like the first time so we made this board, we molded it. The first time I ever put it on the water, man, I've had them go bad. That's a lot of money for a product not to be good, and we'll never release something that's not good. We have products no one will ever see. But I put this on the water. It paddled awesome. It drained right. It felt really, really good. And I'm paddling to the shore. First time I ever took it out, and my daughter comes out with my wife. They met me up there, and I put her on the board on the front, and my wife takes a picture. So, like, it's cool. It's awesome, but then it's like having my freaking daughter, and maybe she'll do something with this one day, maybe not, but kind of,
it's
and
that full circle stuff.
Yeah, and it just takes something and makes it so much more meaningful.
Right. So, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here because I want to talk to, we'll stay here right here, but I want to go ahead and, I want to talk about the kayak and how they can win a Crescent Kayak.
Yeah, man.
All right, and so, guys, here's what I want to do. In the past, what we've done is we have just said, hey, if you want to win stuff like a DIY kit or some Yak Tribe swag or a KBF stuff, line cutter stuff, here's what you do. You subscribe to the podcast channel you're viewing on. You leave us a review, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. Like, guys, obviously I'd still love if you did that because that helps me out and that helps the show out. And I just wanted to say up front, I really should have said this at the beginning of the show, but like, I don't get paid to do this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, he's here, man.
no, like I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to talk to Chad and to talk to Rex, and I'm not getting paid by a secret sponsor that, hey, this is brought to you. I don't have any of those things, and so I'm not trying to guilt anybody. I'm just trying to be transparent with the show like I always have. I don't get paid to do this, and so this takes a lot of time and a lot in post-production and a lot in like we've been planning this for a while now, and there's a lot of pre-production, and a lot goes into this kind of thing, and so... His
family's upstairs.
My family's upstairs with me, guys, and so I'm not getting paid to do this. Judge me, there's awesome entrepreneurs out there who are judging the heck out of me right now for not monetizing the heck out of what's going on. But this show is about you guys. And so if I could further the Yak Tribe community by putting this show on and bring guys like James on here and Vance and Chad and Rex and all of these guys that can download this information into your guys's or upload it, whatever, to you guys so that you can take advantage of it and hopefully bring yourself from point A to point B, or at least take something and implement it in your life or some of this wisdom, then I feel like this was all worth it. But we're now at a point in our show to where someone like James has seen value in what Yak Tribe is doing and what Yak Tribe's about, that he's decided to donate a kayak. And it's not a donation, like this cost him money, right? And so to put that up for you guys in the community to really be a part of what's going on. And so thank you for doing that, James. But if you guys want to enter into winning a Crescent Kayak, here's what you do. All you got to do is go to yak-tribe.com/kayak. All right, you're going to see a form on there. So I need you to put your name, your email, your number, the standard stuff we collect. But then there's going to be a box. There's going to be a box on there, and I want to know what you're going to use this kayak for.
That's cool.
And so I'm not looking for the saddest story, right?
Right.
It's not the sappiest things. Guys, we've given a kayak away before to kids during Christmas, and we've Yak Tribe has come to do some really awesome things, for people that are hurting and have, Yak Tribe, and this isn't a testament to Heath, this is a testament to the people of Yak Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
The people watching the show and who are part of our Instagram and all that stuff, they've paid for people to have chemo, their chemo done. They've paid for burials, they've paid for funerals, food at funerals, and so it's nice that we can actually give something back to them.
Yeah, and that's why we want to support your community, and that's why you have a great voice, and that's the
I
whole,
appreciate that.
It's not about monetizing.
It's not about And so so there's going to be a box on there, and you need to tell me what you're going to do with this kayak. And if it's just go on the water and relax and have water therapy, put that on there. If it's to give it away to somebody, put that on there.
Which model?
Yeah.
Which model are you doing, though?
Yeah, I don't know. That's really up to you, bro. Like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
That's what we got to decide, too.
Yeah, and so we'll decide that.
Yeah, ultralight or probably one of the big three that we came out with recently.
We're going to put that. That's going to be on the page when this releases.
Yeah, ultralight, light tackle, or Sup Plus.
Okay.
Just kind of get a feel for the community, see what they're wanting to get, and we'll go with that.
Got it. And so those will be the options. That'll be on the page. But let me know what you're going to do with this kayak. And so I'm not picking the sappiest one, though it might be the sappiest one. I'm just trying to filter through, and so I can use this information to maybe bless somebody else in the future with something, or just have this information at my disposal. So that's what you got to do, and that's what you got to do to enter. And so here in a second, we're going to wrap up the show, but that's how you get entered to win a Crescent Kayak. So James, thank you very much. Alrighty, so before we wrap up the show, I want to ask you a few questions, and these are a little bit, so these have nothing to do with kayaking, right? And these have nothing to do with manufacturing, but this is the part of the segment where I just try to get wisdom from you that can be passed on to the people viewing. And so that I've been getting a lot of messages from people that are watching this show. I've gotten messages from multiple teachers that are making their class watch this show because these are teachers that believe in like the American dream and entrepreneurship and those things, and so they're trying to instill these types of things in their kids. And so I'm asking everybody I bring on the show this type of question. And so let me ask you this: what's your advice to somebody who wants to make the jump and start their own business? So they have an idea, it's something maybe they've always wanted to do and dreamt of doing, or it's something new, and they have this idea for a business and they want to start it, right? Mm-hmm. Whether they know how or not, or they don't know how to do it. What's really your advice for that newbie, that new guy? Think back to when you made those 10 boats and tried to figure it out, right? And so the question is what's a piece of advice for that new guy trying to make the jump?
I mean, that encouragement from people early on is so important too, isn't it, man? Like I've been at shows,
for sure.
And people came up to me and just, hey man, this is cool, or that. It goes so far.
Yeah.
I always joke with people I'm a horrible person to ask that question to because I'm so skeptical.
Sure.
Like, maybe I just need to be around smarter.
Are you the guy that's like, hey bro, so let me bounce this idea off you. So I was thinking about starting, and you're sitting there like,
a little bit, but maybe I need to be around smarter people. No.
I don't know, bro. That might not be a good look.
So my first point of advice would be: is it viable? Like, is it a good idea? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it? And so who do you get to validate that? I mean, preferably people in the industry, or people you respect, or someone who's done it or is successful, I think is a great place to start.
Right.
And, someone that'll be honest with you, I think is really important. I could tell you kind of how I do the kayak formula. It's basically, what's the cost to make the product? Can I make it back in the first year? If I can, let's run it every time.
Right.
That's not the model that, fits everything, but I think that's the real thing to me would be, is it viable? And then another thing that I think is really, this is just what I see that's successful is, how do you keep overhead down at the beginning? I think is really important. So it's like things that I've seen that are very successful. You don't have to get that huge store or the biggest play. It's like, keep the overhead down. So is it a good idea? If it's a good idea, then how do we start pursuing it? How do we pursue it with low overhead, which is low overhead meaning without a lot of cost?
Don't try and make it look as sexy as possible right from the jump with like the...
Yeah, or how's a way that you could test the business model without putting a ton of money into it?
Losing everything.
Yeah, or how can you organically grow it? Like there's ways you could take and that's just me because that's how I grew this business.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is cash-based business. There's no loans, there's no investors. It's just straight up me. So we could if someone gave us X amount of money, could we come up with 3 models this year and launch it? You know what I mean? Probably. But what has worked for us is when you really got to fight for every penny, you know, you really make your decisions a little more cautiously. You make sure they're the right ones. Not that we don't make mistakes, but
Sure.
I would say that's a big thing that I've seen that works really well for people is how do you start testing the business? And that's my way of doing it. Other people might go take $100,000 loan, go all in, ramp that thing up and do it. But that's not how I've done it, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's very realistic for a younger entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do doggy treats. Well, make the doggy treats and start selling them. You don't have to have a boutique store and all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the sexiest thing,
Yeah.
but prove the model.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
basically what
yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
And hard work, man.
Yeah.
You know.
And like, man, like when I first had the idea to start Yak Tribe, I had well, first of all, my mother-in-law was like, "Here is some money," and I was like, you know, like I had the money,
Yeah.
right? But she was investing in Heath, really,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Hey, here is a little bit of money. It wasn't a ton of money.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit of
yeah.
money." And so, which I had the money in my hand. I was like, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to buy 36 dry fits.
Yeah.
And we're going to start at Yak Tribe and we are going to have the most genuine, connecting kayak fishing community on the planet. Here
Yeah.
it goes. And so, like, I found like a shirt manufacturer and I ordered 36 shirts. And I was like, here it goes. You know what I mean?
Then all your friends want them.
And so yeah, right. But my plan here was my plan, right? My plan was like, if I lose this, I lose this.
Yeah.
But if I sell all these shirts, I can take the money I started with, put that back in my pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and then build the business off this few $100s.
Yeah.
That was almost free,
Mhm.
right? And so the model kind of proved itself, and people bought 36 people or 35. I got one for myself.
Yeah.
35 people bought a shirt, and I was like, okay, so let's continue down. And we got 1,000 Instagram followers, and we started connecting more people and getting more people connected. And then, but here's the thing, like, I still had that initial investment
Yeah.
because like everything else was built off of the surplus.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to prove the point that you can definitely organically
Yeah.
and bootstrap the thing.
And you
if you're
always
smart.
gotta invest. You know, you're not gonna really ever grow it. You're gonna have risk, and you're gonna have
Sure.
an investment.
Yeah.
You know, but that doesn't mean that you took a loan and tried to do Yak Tribe.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
I
I didn't
don't
take a $10,000 loan and lose $10,000. I'm not still paying $10,000 because my
Yeah.
idea didn't pan
yeah.
out.
You hustled it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And so
I like that one thing too, man, that you talked about. I like that a lot. That what were you saying? Like the whole, you know, if you're asking, you know, how do I get what you have?
yeah,
type
man,
thing. I like
that's
that a
the
lot.
whole thing. It's like this, right?
Kind of touches
It's like-
on this a little.
Yeah,
bit,
a little
you
bit. And it's like, hey, if you and I'm not knocking anybody who's trying to do their thing because they're
Yeah.
obviously interested.
Yeah, yeah,
But I've been doing this thing for a while, like building websites and kind of building my whatever I do. I've been building it for like 10 years.
yeah,
And so I get the question a lot just from people I know, people in person. They say like, dude, that's so dope that you can go to the island in Tennessee
yeah.
and then go visit a kayak shop. Like, that's dope. I want to do that. So teach me what you do.
yeah,
And I'm kind of sitting there like, first of all, I love your enthusiasm and thank you so much for the support. But like, I can't teach you the 10 years of hustle I learned through trying to perfect my craft.
for sure, man.
Right? Like,
yeah,
if you're just trying to do what I do to get what I have, this thing right here, you'll hate coding. You probably don't like coding.
yeah.
I started coding in 7th grade and was like, this is dope.
And that's the quality I'm touching on, where you say, like, what's your advice? You know, like, you got to have that grit or that want to, whatever
Right.
the motivation is.
Sure.
Like, I went completely broke. Like, my parents got divorced. My dad's money, not my money.
Yeah.
I went completely broke. I hit zero.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, and even did some homeless nights. And that was enough for me to be like, I'm not doing this again. And that was like what instilled that hustle in me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like what you're talking about, that you can't quantify that, or, you know, it's hard to give that advice for just an overwhelming desire and want to make something work.
Right.
Passion.
Yep.
You know. So
man.
that's the third B.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we got the 3-point sermon from
Yeah.
James from Crescent Kayaks. Here we
Have
go.
passion, man.
Hey, man, so here's the last question.
Okay.
What does success look like to you, and when have you officially made it? And so I'm using the air quotes here because
Yeah.
everyone has a different, like, oh, I've made it, right?
Yeah. It depends how philosophical you want to get.
Yeah.
Mine's, I guess, success is more like a morality thing. And the idea, I mean, I think that's the greatest concept of success to me would be set your morals and live your rest of your life adhering to those morals. And if you could live your life like that, that's success. What does it look like with Crescent or whatever? I just want to support my passion, man. I want to, you know, like you said, you wear Tennessee here or there. Man, I want to take cool trips. Ultimately, I want to create really good paddling products with our own unique flair, and I want it to be successful enough that I keep on getting to have a voice in the industry.
Right.
That's my whole goal where this comes from. I'm not trying to take over or copy or anything like that, man. I think we have a cool voice, and then what I shared a little bit about is we touched on, you know, people starting out or whatever. I'm telling you, man, when I was at shows and a guy that I respected came up and was like, man, this is cool, you're doing your thing, da-da-da, and just that energy that gave me, man. Or sometimes it's easy to forget as a kid, like in elementary school, like just a little bit of encouragement, man, like what that can do for someone. So morally, and me as a man, I have my own path as the business, you know, success in that way. And then ultimately, there's awesome guys in the industry, you know, like a guy named Chris Riggins. I mean, just when you meet someone that really has your back and like supports you or, you know, lends just their experience, it's invaluable, man. Yeah. And I think now we're going to go a little bit more, but like as young men I think young men are seeking another, you know, whether it's a woman or a man, you know, me at least, I was seeking, you know, that, you know, advice or experience or, you know, to be validated. And I would love, I mean, wisdom or whatever, to be sitting here and being any kind of authority or be able to give any kind of advice and that voice matter is really cool to me. And ultimately, down the road or now or going forward, if I can give back in any way to other people that are pursuing their dreams and stuff like that, if I can be a resource or help in any way, that would be awesome.
Yeah, man, and that's the heart of the Yak Tribe right there. Like, our slogan is real people, real stories, real connections. Yeah. And so, like, that's why I'm doing this vlogcast too, is because, like, my family and I, you know, people who follow us know, we lived on the road for almost 3 years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we bootstrapped Yak Tribe and was like, look, I want to meet everybody I can possible who has supported Yak Tribe, who wants to be a part of Yak Tribe. Let's go to Augusta, Georgia, and post up for a month. Let's do it. Let's barbecue. Let's hang out. All right, let's go to Texas. Let's go. And so, like, that's why I love doing this show and getting people like you on, because to me it's like this. Like, if I meet you and we spend some time together, like, I don't really see what could come in the way of us not being friends anymore. Like, there has to, like, something could happen, but
yeah,
in my eyes it's like you're now kayak fish or don't kayak fish. Like, I've got your back now. Like, you're my friend.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm your friend too. And so that's why I love that's why I love doing this podcast and the kayak fishing industry, is because, you know, like you said, if you can further someone else's passion and dream and be a resource and help people and be an encouragement, to be a sense of direction.
Absolutely.
And if you can even do that for a few people, then it really validates why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so, man, I'm glad to have connected with you and to get you in front of this camera here and to be part of really the beginning stages. This is my way of not living on the road anymore. To do this.
No, it's an honor, man. I think you guys got something awesome going on. Like you said, I reached out, and it's organic, it's real, it's not paid, and you know, and that's what I really connected to, and showed up, man.
Yeah,
you did what he said, showed up, and we did it, man.
Yeah, man. I was driving through, like, so I'm not familiar with this area, you know, but you know, I knew I was going to be in Tennessee and I had to get to Florida, and I was like, man, this guy is somewhere in between there. And so I just left the island in Tennessee, which is beautiful. My wife made it happen with her, you know, her work and everything like that. I'm sitting here driving out to, is this Carrollton?
Yeah, Carrollton.
I'm sitting here like, where are we? And where's the Chick-fil-A? There's no Chick-fil-A around here.
No, we got two, man.
No, I was just kidding. No, I haven't been to this place before, and so thanks for inviting me to the warehouse here. And so, James, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks for making some time in your day to have me over here. And so, guys, remember to enter the giveaway for the Crescent Kayak. You have to go to yak-tribe/kayak. That will be in the description. It's going to be right here on the screen for you right now. Swipe ups on the Instagram stories. Get involved. Let me get that information. Let me know what you do with the kayak. I'm not looking for the sappiest story. If it's as simple as you just want to go fish, hey, put that in there just so I have the information. And we're going to pick that winner at random, of course. And so, guys, this is the 8th episode of YTKS, the Yak Tribe Kayak Show. I'm here with my man James from Crescent Kayak. We're out here in Carrollton, Georgia. I'm a little bit ways from home in Florida, where I wish I was at the beach right now.
Yeah.
But, bro.
At Crescent Kayaks, we got some cool stuff coming out this winter.
Yeah, man.
We're excited to share with you
Y'all
guys.
check out at Crescent Kayaks. And again, you'll see that in description like we do all of our videos and the swipe ups and everything like that. You should have seen them a little bit on Instagram and in our stories and a little bit like that. So get involved. Check these guys out. James is a real dude. He's out here. He's not messing around, and he's just bringing the realness to our industry. So, James, I appreciate you being here with me today. And we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. Guys, our episodes drop every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you guys next Monday.